Hi, this is Nikki, the creator of Nicki's Homemade Crafts. Today I would like to teach you how to make this cell phone cover. And I used the Turkish star stitch that I have a tutorial on, but I'm going to still show it to you one more time. I created this phone cover because I constantly have my phone either on the floor or on some kind of I don't know, stand or something while I'm charging it. So here's the thing. I created this little loop thing so I can hang it over the area of the plug, you know, the phone charger plug. So you can just hang it over and it stays right there. And then also I have a couple holes here on the bottom that I kind of left open. It's not perfect, but I didn't want it to be perfect because I don't want too much dirt getting in here, but I want enough opening that I can put my charger through here as well as my headphone. For the people who already have like an iPhone 7 or whatever that doesn't need that, you just close up that area. In my case, I left it open because I have the headphone jack right there. So, and in addition to that, it has a multi-purpose. It's not just for hanging it up, but I'm also going to be able to close it up and put it like this in my purse or something. I haven't added the button on this one yet, so I can show you how to make this right here, okay? So, but you just put the button right there, close it up, and you always can find your phone, and it's protected. So, and it looks actually really, really pretty. Okay, so let's get started. So this is kind of how you take it out. So I created this for the iPhone 6 Plus, so the bigger version of it, but you can obviously adjust it to any size phone you have, and it's really easy and fast to make. So let me get started with this. So first, let me show you what I used. I used the Bernat Maker Home Decor, and this one is the color Woodberry, and it suggests a higher hook size. It suggests an 8mm hook size, but I wanted it a little bit tighter so it's more durable, so I used a 5mm hook. But feel free to use a bigger one, you just have to adjust it for your phone size. Okay, so let's get started. We'll make a chain of 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. All right. So now we're going to connect the back so it's in a circle, okay? So I always like to go into a hump in the back because it makes a prettier look in the end. So wherever you're gonna go doesn't really matter. So you do slip stitch right there. Okay, and then you go into the same one and do 2 single crochets. Then you're gonna skip one. So if I pull a little bit, you can see this is the skip one. We're gonna go into this one now. And you do the same thing again. So it's always 2. So you skip one and then you do 2 single crochets. So we're going to go all the way to the end. And then you can use stitch markers. I did not because I just, you know, did it by how big my phone is. And so you can do however you like to do it. You can use a stitch marker or not, but there's no slip stitch until all the way at the end. So we're just going to do in continuous rounds. Right. So because I was counting in between, I should count real quick here. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All right. So again, there's no slip stitch. So I counted the amount of single crochets I have, or stitches in total. So we're going to do the Turkish star stitch. So I'm going to explain you again how this works, okay? I'm going to do a couple of rounds and then you're just going to continue doing it, okay? So you see, this is in the first row, it's the difficult part, okay? Because you have a hard time seeing it, okay? But there is 2 single crochets here, and consider 2 single crochets have 2 V's. So each single crochet has a V. So on the very first one, it's hard to see because I had a slip stitch underneath. But we're going to go between the 3rd and the 4th line. So if, let me draw it like this with my yarn, okay? So if you have 2 V's, okay, they look like U's, but pretend they're V's, okay? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 single crochet, this is another single crochet, okay? So this is the 3rd one, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is the 4th. We're going to go through here, and then right underneath there is a stitch. Okay, so you're going to go through here and then through that stitch. It's technically together like this. Okay, and then you pull the yarn through. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 between the 3rd and the 4th, and underneath, right underneath, you kind of look, so you'll see it in a second, okay? There's a stitch right underneath. You're going through that, so through the 3rd and the 4th, and then underneath, okay? So let me show you. Okay. So you have here 1 single crochet and here 1 single crochet, and here's the 3rd and the 4th. Going right through here, and there's a stitch right underneath. So that's where you're going through, and you do 2 single crochets in that area, okay? And then you're going to repeat that with the next set. Okay, you're just going to continue doing it. Starting in the 2nd row, it is much easier to see. It's just the first one that's a little bit hard to see. So if this helps a little bit, we're actually going, that stitch that I just mentioned that's kind of hidden behind, is the stitch that we're skipped. So that's where you're going through. Okay, so in a second, you're going to see how that looks like in the 2nd row. 2nd row of doing this. Okay, I'm not the chain is not counted as a row for me. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing this. Just continue on until the end, and then starting the 2nd row, it's much easier to see. So remember, we're using this thicker yarn with a smaller hook, so it might be a little bit tighter in the beginning, but you get used to it, and it's only a small piece, so it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. If you feel more comfortable doing it with a bigger hook size, that's fine, or a different yarn, that's fine too. Just make sure you adjust it for the size phone you have it. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, so now here, on the very last stitch, you already see that hidden stitch. In this case, you actually see it because it's the very first one, okay? So you're gonna go through that stitch right there, okay, and then pull it through. I'm gonna come in a little closer in a second so you can see it. Oopsie. Okay, it's really not that hard, so I'm gonna come a little closer. Okay, so you have here 2 and you have here 2. So you go through the 3rd and the 4th right here. Okay, and then here's that stitch. Do you see that stitch right there? I'm gonna pull this aside. There's a stitch right there. And you're gonna go through that, and then you pull your yarn. Then you do that again. So it's every time 2 single crochets, right? But you're just placing it in a different spot than you usually do. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and here's that hidden stitch. And just pull it through, just like you do a normal single crochet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So between the 3rd and the 4th, and then here's that hidden stitch. Did you see? And going through that hidden stitch makes this whole thing a little bit thicker and more sturdy, which is kind of important when you have a phone, right? You want to have it protected. Okay, so Every time you just go through that. Okay, you see that? And now you have these cool lines coming up on the side when you continue on doing this. Okay, so you're just going to continue on until you finished the size you need. So I haven't counted my rows because it's kind of tilted, so it's a hard time counting them. But it doesn't really matter. You can measure it out. This is the same size as my phone. So I'll write it down in the instructions. There's a link on the bottom. So once you get to the size that you want, then you want to attach this. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out just a hint. So you want to attach this little loop right here. Okay, so I'm going to unravel it and show you exactly how I did this. Okay, it's super easy. Okay, so once you get to this point right here, we say, okay, now I want to add my loop. So you make a single crochet right here, and then you chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can make it longer if you prefer, but this is the size that I wanted to do, okay? And now you're going to connect it back over here before you go back on that chain, okay? So I don't want you to go through just this, because look what happens when you do this. If you go through one chain, okay, it's going to be it pulls it and doesn't look good in the end. So you're actually going to go through that hidden stitch that we use all the time here, and you use that at the same time. So you use 2 stitches, okay, which makes it, you see the holes a little smaller, makes it much more sturdy. Okay, so you make a slip stitch into that, and you turn it, and then you're going to work your way back. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my hump that I prefer doing so that it looks prettier, and then you just do single crochets all the way back the same chain that you just created. Super easy, and it looks really good in the end. And using this kind of yarn is actually probably a little bit better because it's a little bit more sturdy than some of the other yarn, like a worsted weighted yarn is a little less sturdy than this. So this one is considered bulky. This is a bulky yarn. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, I have one more here. Okay, and then I'm going to slip stitch back to the end. I'm going to just pull it for a second here. Okay, and then you have your little loop right there. It's pretty good, pretty sturdy. And then you just make a little button right here, whatever size that you prefer. It can be a giant button, so it really holds it, or a little button. Excuse me. It's just the size that you want, that you prefer doing here. I'm probably gonna pick a different color than red. And yeah, that's pretty much how you make it. So you just, oh, and then forget. Then you put this whole thing inside out, and then you do, you sew it together, and just keep your little holes that you need to have for your charger. If you don't prefer doing it for charging purposes, don't just close it all the way up. It's totally up to you. It's your creation. It's just my pattern, but your creation. So anyway, so after you're done with this, and if you happen to post it on social media, please, I'm asking very kindly to credit back to me for the pattern. So just for Facebook or Instagram, it would be at nickishomemadecrafts.com. Oh, without the .com, sorry. So at Nicki's Homemade Crafts. And then for Twitter and Pinterest, it's Nicki's Crafts. So that's where you can find me. And yeah, so I hope you like this pattern. It's super fast, super easy to make. I just made it in less than an hour this morning, and was super excited. So I created a video on it right away. So anyways, I hope you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see you next time. Bye.